Right now, as you settle in and let the day slip away, the fastest object ever built by human hands is hurtling through space at over 400,000 miles per hour. That sounds impossibly fast. And yet, at that speed, it would still take more than 6,000 years just to reach the nearest star beyond our sun. So here is the question that might keep you awake tonight, or perhaps gently carry you into dreams. How far could you actually travel through the cosmos in one human lifetime? Not in science fiction, not in imagination, but really, truly, with the physics we understand and the universe as it actually exists. Before we go any further, if you find yourself drifting off to these cosmic journeys, consider tapping that subscribe button and maybe leaving a like. It helps this little corner of sleepy science grow, and it means more nights like this one, exploring the universe together as you drift towards sleep. The answer to our question turns out to be far stranger and more beautiful than you might expect. It involves bending time itself, stretching the very fabric of reality, and discovering that the universe plays by rules that defy our everyday experience. By the end of this journey, you will understand something profound about the relationship between speed, time, and the human experience of traveling among the stars. Let us begin where all journeys begin, right here, on this small blue world, spinning through space at about 67,000 miles per hour as we orbit our sun. You do not feel that motion. The coffee in your cup stays perfectly still. The ground beneath your feet feels solid and unmoving. But we are all travelers already, whether we know it or not. The Earth itself is moving through the Milky Way galaxy at about 500,000 miles per hour. And our entire galaxy is drifting through the universe at over 1 million miles per hour relative to the cosmic background radiation left over from the Big Bang. Motion is relative. Speed is relative. And as we will discover, time itself is relative too. But when we ask how far a human could travel through space in one lifetime, we need to start with something more practical. We need to consider the vehicles we have actually built, the speeds we have actually achieved, and the destinations that might actually be within our reach. The Moon was our first great destination beyond Earth. When Apollo 11 carried Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin across that void in 1969, they traveled about 240,000 miles. The journey took roughly 3 days each way. In terms of distance, it was like driving around Earth 10 times. In terms of cosmic scale, it was barely a step outside our front door. If you could drive a car to the Moon at highway speeds, it would take about 4 months of continuous driving. The astronauts made it in 3 days because they were traveling at roughly 25,000 miles per hour. Fast by human standards, practically standing still by cosmic standards. Mars is the next obvious destination when we think about human space travel. The red planet sits between 35 million and 250 million miles away from Earth, depending on where both planets are in their orbits. When Mars is closest, at what astronomers call opposition, the distance is still over 150 times farther than the Moon. Current spacecraft take between 7 and 9 months to reach Mars. The journey requires careful timing, launching when the planets are positioned just right to minimize fuel and travel time. A human mission to Mars would mean spending the better part of a year just getting there, then waiting over a year for the planets to align again before you could return. A round trip to Mars with current technology would consume roughly 3 years of a human life. 3 years is significant. It is enough time for a child to grow from infancy to the age of walking and talking. It is enough time for friendships to form and fade. It is enough time for the world you left behind to become noticeably different from the world you remember. But in terms of cosmic distance, Mars is practically next door. The light from Mars takes only about 12 minutes to reach Earth at its closest approach. 12 minutes for light, 3 years for humans. This gap between the speed of light and the speed of human spacecraft reveals the first great challenge of interstellar travel. Light moves at approximately 186,000 miles per second. That works out to nearly 670 million miles per hour. Our fastest spacecraft, the Parker Solar Probe, reached about 430,000 miles per hour as it swung close to the Sun in late 2024. This makes it the fastest object ever built by humanity. Yet even at that tremendous speed, the Parker Solar Probe is traveling at only about 0.06% of the speed of light. Imagine a race where light is sprinting at full speed, and our fastest spacecraft is crawling along at roughly the pace of a determined snail relative to that sprint. The comparison is almost embarrassing when you think about it. The Voyager 1 spacecraft, launched in 1977, is currently the most distant human-made object from Earth. It is traveling at about 38,000 miles per hour relative to our Sun, heading out toward interstellar space. After nearly 50 years of travel, Voyager 1 has covered about 15 billion miles. That sounds like an enormous distance. And it is. But Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our Sun, is about 25 trillion miles away. Voyager 1 would need over 73,000 years to reach it at its current speed. 73,000 years. Let that number settle into your mind as you lie there in the darkness. When Voyager 1 launched, humans had only been building spacecraft for about 20 years. 73,000 years ago, modern humans were sharing the planet with Neanderthals. The Ice Age had not yet ended. Writing would not be invented for another 68,000 years. The entirety of recorded human history fits into a tiny fraction of the time it would take Voyager to reach our nearest stellar neighbor. This is the reality of space travel with current technology. The universe is simply too big. The distances are too vast. A human lifetime of 80 or 90 years is the blink of an eye compared to the journeys required to reach even the closest stars. But here is where the story takes a beautiful turn, because the universe, as it turns out, has a loophole, a strange and wonderful quirk of physics that makes interstellar travel within a human lifetime theoretically possible. To understand this loophole, we need to talk about a physicist named Albert Einstein and his revolutionary theory of special relativity. In 1905, Einstein published a paper that changed our understanding of space and time forever. He demonstrated that time is not absolute. It does not tick along at the same rate for everyone everywhere. Instead, time flows differently, depending on how fast you are moving relative to other observers. This effect is called time dilation, and it becomes increasingly powerful as you approach the speed of light. The closer you get to light speed, the more time slows down for you relative to people who are not moving as fast. Consider a simple thought experiment. Imagine you have a twin sibling. You board a spacecraft and accelerate to 95% of the speed of light, then travel away from Earth for what feels like 10 years to you. You turn around and come back. When you reunite with your twin, you discover something astonishing. While only 10 years have passed for you, roughly 32 years have passed for them. Your twin is now decades older than you, even though you were born at the same moment. You are still in your 30s while they have grey hair and grandchildren. This is not science fiction. This is physics. This is real. Time dilation has been measured and confirmed countless times. Scientists have put atomic clocks on airplanes and flown them around the world, then compared them to identical clocks that stayed on the ground. The moving clocks ran slightly slower, exactly as Einstein predicted. The effect is tiny at airplane speeds, mere billionths of a second. But the principle has been proven beyond any doubt. GPS satellites orbiting Earth experience time dilation because they are moving fast relative to people on the surface. The clocks on these satellites tick at a slightly different rate than clocks on the ground. If engineers did not account for this effect, your GPS navigation would be off by miles within a single day. So time dilation is real. It is measurable. It is happening right now to every object in motion, including you as you travel around the sun. The effects are just too small to notice at everyday speeds. But at speeds approaching the speed of light, time dilation becomes dramatic. Let us apply this to our question about how far humans could travel in one lifetime. Imagine we could build a spacecraft capable of accelerating at 1 g, which is the same as the gravitational pull you feel standing on Earth. This acceleration would feel comfortable and natural to the human body. You would experience the same weight you feel right now. If this spacecraft accelerated at 1 g for 1 year, it would reach about 95% of the speed of light. But here is the remarkable thing. Because of time dilation, what feels like 1 year to the people on the spacecraft would appear to be more than 3 years to observers watching from Earth. Now imagine the spacecraft keeps accelerating at 1 g for the entire journey, then decelerates at 1 g for the second half to arrive at its destination and stop. How far could you travel in this scenario during a human lifetime? The answer is staggering. At constant 1 g acceleration, with the benefits of time dilation, you could reach the center of our Milky Way galaxy, which is about 28,000 light-years away, in roughly 20 years of your personal time. Only 20 years would pass for you on the spacecraft, but for everyone you left behind on Earth, 28,000 years would have elapsed. Want to go further? The Andromeda Galaxy is about 2.5 million light-years from Earth. With constant 1 g acceleration and deceleration, you could make that journey in approximately 28 to 30 years of your personal time. But Earth would have aged 2.5 million years. This is the beautiful, haunting mathematics of relativistic space travel. The faster you go, the more time slows down for you. The universe effectively shrinks from your perspective, while expanding wildly from the perspective of those you leave behind. In theory, using time dilation, a human being could travel to the edge of the observable universe, some 46 billion light-years away, in about 45 years of personal experience. 45 years to cross the entire observable universe. But by the time you arrived, the universe itself would be billions of years older. Everything you knew would be gone. Every star in the sky you grew up watching would have shifted and changed. Civilizations would have risen and fallen countless times on any worlds where they existed. This is both the promise and the tragedy of relativistic travel. You can go almost anywhere, but you can never truly come home. Let us step back from these cosmic scales for a moment and consider more modest destinations. Because before we can dream of crossing galaxies, we should understand what it would take to reach our nearest stellar neighbors. Proxima Centauri, as we mentioned, is about 4.25 light-years from Earth. That means light itself, traveling at the cosmic speed limit, takes over 4 years to make the journey. If we could somehow build a spacecraft capable of traveling at half the speed of light, a tremendous achievement far beyond our current abilities, it would still take about 8.5 years to reach Proxima Centauri. Add in time to accelerate and decelerate, And you are looking at a journey of roughly a decade. A decade is a significant chunk of a human lifetime. But it is achievable. People have been imprisoned for longer periods and emerged to live full lives afterward. A 10-year journey to another star would be grueling, isolating, and psychologically challenging, but it would not consume an entire life. The challenge, of course, is achieving anything close to half the speed of light. Our current fastest spacecraft move at tiny fractions of 1% of light speed. To accelerate a crewed spacecraft to 50% of light speed would require energy reserves that stagger the imagination. Consider the Breakthrough Starshot project, which proposes sending tiny light sail probes to Alpha Centauri. These probes would weigh only grams and would be accelerated by powerful ground-based lasers to 20% of the speed of light. At that speed, they would reach Proxima Centauri in about 20 years. But these are flyby probes, not spacecraft that slow down and explore. And they carry no humans. Scaling this technology up to a crewed spacecraft presents enormous problems. The energy required increases with mass. A spacecraft large enough to support human life for a multi-year journey would weigh millions of times more than a gram-scale probe. The power requirements become almost inconceivable. There is also the problem of what happens when you hit something. Space is mostly empty, but mostly is not completely. Dust particles, atoms of hydrogen, the occasional pebble-sized chunk of rock. At half the speed of light, hitting a grain of sand would release energy equivalent to a bomb. Any interstellar spacecraft would need shielding capable of deflecting or absorbing these impacts. That shielding adds mass, which requires more energy, which requires more fuel, which adds more mass. The mathematics quickly become discouraging, but let us not dwell on the obstacles tonight. Let us instead marvel at what physics tells us is possible, even if engineering has not yet caught up. The nearest dozen stars to our Sun lie within about 12 light years. This stellar neighborhood includes Alpha Centauri, Barnard's star, Wolf 359, Leyland 21, 185, and several others. Some of these stars have planets. Proxima Centauri has at least one planet in its habitable zone, where liquid water could potentially exist on the surface. If we could achieve sustained travel at 10% of the speed of light, we could reach any of these nearby stars within a human lifetime. Proxima Centauri, in about 40 years. Barnard's star in about 60 years. Still challenging, but within the span of a dedicated career. At 20% of light speed, these journeys shrink to 20 and 30 years respectively. A person could depart Earth in their 20s and arrive at another star system while still relatively young. They could spend decades exploring alien worlds, gathering knowledge, making discoveries that would reshape our understanding of the universe. The return journey is another matter entirely. At 20% of light speed, you would experience only modest time dilation effects, perhaps 10 or 15% slower than normal, so a 40-year round trip would feel like maybe 35 years to you. But everyone you knew on Earth would have aged those full 40 years. Your children would be grown. Your friends would be old. The world you left would have changed in countless ways. This asymmetry of time is one of the strange consequences of relativistic physics. It does not violate any laws. It does not create paradoxes in the logical sense. But it creates emotional paradoxes that are hard to contemplate. What does it mean to return home when everyone you loved has aged decades while you have barely changed? Science fiction has explored this theme countless times. Stories of astronauts returning to find their children old enough to be their parents. Tales of explorers who outlive civilizations. the loneliness of living between times, belonging fully to neither the world you left nor the world you find. Perhaps this is why so many visions of interstellar travel involve generation ships, massive vessels where multiple generations would live and die during the journey. Your great-grandchildren would arrive at the destination, not you. The ship becomes a mobile civilization, carrying humanity forward across the void. Generation ships would not require relativistic speeds. If a spacecraft could sustain just 1% of light speed, about 6.7 million miles per hour, it could reach Proxima Centauri in about 400 years. 10 to 15 generations of humans living, loving, working and dying aboard a vessel sailing between the stars. 400 years ago on Earth, the Pilgrims had not yet landed at Plymouth Rock. Shakespeare was still alive. The scientific revolution was just beginning. A journey spanning that much time would see entire cultures evolve aboard the ship. The descendants who arrived would be fundamentally different from the ancestors who departed. But generation ships solved the problem of distance at the cost of individual connection. No single human would make the journey from Earth to another star. It would be humanity that traveled, not any particular person. For a single human to travel meaningfully far through space in their own lifetime, we return to the necessity of high speeds and time dilation. And as speeds increase, the universe begins to behave in increasingly strange ways. At 90% of light speed, time passes about 2.3 times slower for you than for stationary observers. At 99% of light speed, time slows by a factor of about 7. At 99.9%, it slows by a factor of about 22. This means that at very high speeds, you can cover enormous distances while aging only slightly. The catch is that you need to keep accelerating to stay at those speeds, or else you need some source of thrust to maintain them against the various subtle forces that act on objects in space. The mathematics of constant acceleration travel are elegant. If you accelerate at 1g for 1 year of your time, you will be traveling at about 77% of the speed of light from the perspective of observers on Earth. After 2 years of acceleration, you are at 97%. After 3 years, 99.5%. But the energy required for this acceleration grows exponentially. To accelerate a spacecraft with constant 1g thrust for years using conventional rockets would require more fuel than exists in the solar system. The rocket equation is unforgiving. Every kilogram of fuel you carry requires more fuel to accelerate, which requires more fuel to accelerate that fuel, and so on. Matter-antimatter annihilation is one theoretical propulsion method that could provide the energy density needed. When matter meets antimatter, they convert entirely to energy according to Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared. This is far more efficient than nuclear fission or fusion, which convert only a tiny fraction of mass to energy. 1 kilogram of antimatter annihilating with 1 kilogram of matter would release energy equivalent to about 43 megatons of TNT. For comparison, the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated released about 50 megatons. A spacecraft carrying a few tons of antimatter fuel could theoretically achieve the velocities needed for relativistic travel. The problem is that we cannot produce antimatter in large quantities. The largest amount ever created and stored is measured in atoms, not grams. And containing antimatter is extraordinarily difficult, since it annihilates on contact with any normal matter. A practical antimatter fuel tank is still firmly in the realm of science fiction. Other exotic propulsion concepts include Bussard ramjets, which would scoop up hydrogen from interstellar space and use it as fusion fuel. This elegant idea encounters problems because the interstellar medium is so thin that the drag from the collection scoop may exceed the thrust from the fusion engine. Laser propulsion, like the breakthrough Starshot concept, could work for small probes, but scales poorly for large crewed spacecraft. Solar sails could provide gentle but continuous acceleration, but would become less effective as the ship moves away from the Sun. Nuclear pulse propulsion, studied under Project Orion in the 1950s and 60s, would detonate nuclear bombs behind the spacecraft to push it forward. This could theoretically achieve 5 to 10% of light speed, but the political and environmental concerns of launching nuclear weapons into space make it unlikely to ever be attempted. Each propulsion concept has its adherents and its critics. None has been demonstrated at the scales needed for interstellar travel. We remain, for now, bound to our cosmic neighborhood. But tonight is not about what we cannot do. It is about what physics allows. And physics allows something magnificent. Imagine you are born aboard a starship, a child of the void. Your parents joined an expedition to explore a nearby star system, and you came into existence somewhere in the darkness between Earth and Alpha Centauri. The ship has been accelerating for years before your birth, and it continues accelerating through your childhood. By the time you are old enough to understand, the ship is traveling at over 90% of light speed. Time dilation is in full effect. For every year you experience, more than 2 years pass back on Earth. The stars ahead of the ship appear blue shift, their light compressed to shorter wavelengths by your motion toward them. The stars behind are redshifted, stretched toward longer wavelengths. The cosmic background radiation, normally invisible microwaves, has been blue shifted into visible light ahead of you, a faint glow showing the direction of your travel. Looking out the window, you see a universe subtly different from the one your ancestors knew. The familiar constellations have shifted. Stars that seemed side by side from Earth now appear separated as their true three-dimensional positions become apparent from your changed vantage point. You grow up, you study, you fall in love with another child of the ship, you have children of your own, and still the journey continues. The deceleration phase begins when you are in your 20s. The stars ahead of you gradually shift back toward their normal colors as the ship slows. When you finally arrive at your destination, a planet orbiting Proxima Centauri, you are in your 30s. The journey from Earth has taken about 12 years of your personal time. But on Earth, over 15 years have passed. The children who were born the same year you were born are now middle-aged. The world has changed in ways you will never know, because it would take over 4 years for any message to travel between your new home and your species' ancestral planet. You step onto alien soil. The star in the sky is not the sun you learned about in your shipboard lessons. It is smaller, redder, more variable. The light has a different quality. The day is a different length. Everything is new. This is what the universe makes possible. A human lifetime can span the void between stars. Not easily, not with current technology. But physics does not forbid it. The laws of nature allow for children to be born on Earth and die on worlds orbiting distant suns. The question of how far humans can travel in a lifetime ultimately depends on the question of what humans are willing to sacrifice for the journey. Are we willing to leave behind everyone we have ever known, knowing they will age and die while we sail through the darkness? Are we willing to commit our descendants to lives aboard ships, never knowing the feel of wind or the sight of open sky? Are we willing to pour the resources of entire civilizations into propulsion systems that might fail, into missions that might never return, These are not physics questions. These are human questions. And human questions have human answers, which change from generation to generation, from culture to culture, from moment to moment. For now, the farthest any human has travelled from Earth is about 248,000 miles, the distance Apollo 13 reached when it swung around the Moon in 1970. That record has stood for over 50 years. The next human to break it may already be alive, training somewhere on Earth right now, preparing for a mission to Mars or beyond. The first human to see another star up close may not be born for centuries, or they may be born tomorrow. We cannot know. What we know is that the universe is vast beyond comprehension, that time bends and stretches in ways that defy intuition, and that within these strange rules lies the possibility of journeys we can barely imagine. As you drift towards sleep, perhaps you can feel it. The motion of Earth through space, the slow wheeling of our galaxy, the expansion of the universe carrying everything farther from everything else with each passing moment. You are already a traveller. You have been since the moment you were born. Every second, you move about 12 miles as Earth rotates. Every day, you travel over 1.5 million miles in orbit around the Sun. Every year, the Sun carries you about 5 billion miles around the galactic center. Over your lifetime, even if you never leave your hometown, you will travel roughly 44 billion miles through the cosmos. That is the truth that underlies all our dreams of space exploration. We are not trying to become travelers. We already are travelers. We are simply trying to choose our destination more deliberately. The Moon awaits those brave enough to return. Mars beckons with its rusty deserts and ancient riverbeds. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn hide oceans beneath their icy surfaces. The Kuiper Belt holds uncounted worldlets, remnants from the birth of our solar system. And beyond, the stars burn in their eternal vigil, each one a possible destination, each one orbited by worlds we have never seen. Some of those worlds may have their own travelers, beings who look up at their alien skies and wonder about the distances between stars, beings who ask the same questions we ask. How far can we go? How much is out there? Are we alone? These questions have no easy answers, but they have answers. Physics tells us the rules, engineering tells us the constraints, biology tells us the requirements, and human will tells us the dream. The dream is simple: to go, to see, to know. To stand beneath skies no human has ever witnessed and feel the ancient light of distant suns on your face. How far can you travel in a lifetime? With current technology, perhaps Mars and back. With modest improvements, perhaps the outer solar system. With revolutionary breakthroughs, perhaps the nearest stars. With time dilation and speeds approaching light, perhaps galaxies. The universe does not care how far we want to go. It simply exists, vast and patient and indifferent. But within that indifference lies an invitation. The laws of physics do not forbid travel to the stars. They merely make it difficult. Difficulty has never stopped humanity before. We crossed oceans in wooden ships. We climbed mountains in leather boots. We walked on the moon in suits of fabric and metal. Each generation inherits the dreams of the last and adds dreams of their own. Your generation, or the next, or the one after that, will solve the problems that keep us bound to this single world. Fusion propulsion, antimatter storage, hibernation technology, closed-loop life support. Each problem will fall to human ingenuity, one by one, until the stars are within reach. You may not live to see it. None of us may live to see it. But somewhere in the future, humans will stand on worlds orbiting Proxima Centauri, Tau Ceti, Epsilon Eridani. They will look up at unfamiliar skies and know that they are the latest chapter in a story that began with cave paintings and stone tools. That story is yours too. Every time you look up at the stars, every time you wonder about what lies beyond, you are participating in the great human journey. You are carrying forward the curiosity that made our ancestors cross continents and seas. Tonight, as sleep approaches, you can let your mind wander across the light years. You can drift through nebulae and past planets. You can feel the gentle tug of gravity around distant suns. You can be, in imagination, a traveler of the cosmos, because in the end, that is what physics truly tells us. Space and time are connected. They bend and weave together in ways we are only beginning to understand. And within that bending lies the possibility of journeys beyond anything our ancestors could have dreamed. The nearest star is 4 light years away. In a fast car, that would take about 50 million years. In a spacecraft traveling at 1% of light speed, about 400 years. In a spacecraft traveling at 50% of light speed, about 8 years. And in a spacecraft traveling at 99% of light speed, the journey would feel like only about 7 months to the travelers, while over 4 years passed back on Earth. 7 months to another star. It sounds almost reasonable when you put it that way. Shorter than some Antarctic expeditions. Shorter than many sea voyages in the age of sail. The universe suddenly seems a little smaller, a little more accessible. But speed is the key that unlocks this accessibility. Without speed, space remains an impassable barrier. With speed, it becomes merely challenging. There are those who argue that humans will never travel to the stars. They point to the energy requirements, the engineering challenges, the sheer distances involved. They may be right. No one can predict the future with certainty. But there are others who look at the same challenges and see opportunities. They see problems to be solved, not barriers that cannot be crossed. They remember that every great achievement in human history was once considered impossible by reasonable people using reasonable assumptions. Powered flight was impossible until it was not. Reaching the moon was impossible until it was not. Sequencing the human genome was impossible until it was not. Perhaps interstellar travel will follow the same pattern. The cosmos is patient. It has been here for billions of years and will be here for billions more. Whether humans join the community of stars or remain forever on this single world is up to us. The universe extends its invitation and waits to see how we will respond. In the meantime, we have tonight. We have the stars visible through your window. We have the knowledge that each of those points of light is a sun, and around many of them orbit worlds. Some of those worlds may be watching Earth tonight, wondering about the small blue dot that sometimes outshines the ancient stars. What stories might they tell about us? What legends might they create? Do they count us among the traveling peoples, or do they see us as a young species, still learning the basics of spaceflight? We cannot know. We can only keep learning, keep building, keep dreaming. One day, perhaps sooner than anyone expects, a human being will look back at our solar system from the vicinity of another star. They will see our sun as we see Proxima Centauri, a faint spark lost among thousands of others. And in that moment, the question of how far humans can travel will have found its most powerful answer, not in numbers or equations, but in the simple fact of presence. They will be there among the stars, where once we could only dream of going. Until then, we keep watching, we keep wondering, we keep asking the questions that have no final answers. How far is too far? How fast is fast enough? How long is a lifetime when time itself can be bent and shaped by motion? These questions float in the darkness, like distant galaxies. They hover at the edge of understanding, always receding, always inviting us forward. They are the questions of a species that refuses to accept limits, that always pushes against the boundaries of the possible. You are part of that species. You carry in your neurons the same curiosity that drove the first human to wonder about the lights in the night sky. You are connected to every astronaut who has ever looked back at Earth from space, every astronomer who has ever mapped the stars, every physicist who has ever pondered the nature of time. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, you join a grand tradition, the tradition of human beings lying in darkness, watching the stars, and imagining journeys among them. The journey does not have to end. It never has to end. Space is infinite, or so close to infinite, that it makes no practical difference. There is always somewhere new to go, always something new to see, always another question waiting beyond the last answer. And time dilation means that no matter how far you want to go, no matter how distant your destination, the journey can fit within a human lifetime if you are willing to travel fast enough. The center of the galaxy in 20 years, Andromeda in 30, the edge of the observable universe in 45. These numbers sound like fairy tales, but they are physics, they are mathematics. They are the real behavior of real space and real time at speeds approaching light. We may never achieve such speeds. The energy requirements may be insurmountable. The engineering challenges may be impossible to solve. Perhaps humans are destined to remain close to home, sending only our robot emissaries into the distant cosmos. But perhaps not. Perhaps some generation, some century, some millennium hence, the first true starship will depart Earth orbit, accelerate past the Moon, past Mars, past Jupiter, past the edge of our solar system, and keep accelerating until the stars themselves blur with motion. The passengers on that ship will experience something no human has ever known. The slowing of time, the shrinking of space, the strange relativity of a journey measured in light years, but experienced in ordinary human years. They will look out their windows and see the universe transformed. Stars ahead, compressed and blue shifted. Stars behind stretched and red shifted. The cosmic microwave background glow visible to the naked eye. And they will know, with absolute certainty, that humans can travel to the stars. Not theoretically, not mathematically. Actually, really, truly. That knowledge will change everything. It will reshape our understanding of what it means to be human, of what our species can accomplish, of what our ultimate destiny might be. For now, that knowledge belongs to the future. It waits out there in the darkness, among the stars we cannot yet reach. But it is there. Physics guarantees it is there. The universe has placed it like a gift, waiting for us to grow up enough to claim it. How far can you travel in a lifetime? As far as you can dream, as far as physics allows, as far as human determination can carry us. The answer is not a number, it is a story. The story of a species born on a small blue world, who dared to ask what lay beyond the horizon, who dared to build ships that could carry them past that horizon, who dared to believe that the stars were not forever out of reach. That story is still being written. You are part of it. So am I. So is everyone who has ever looked up at the night sky and wondered. The universe is big, but we are curious, and curiosity, in the end, is its own kind of propulsion. It carries us forward even when our rockets cannot. It keeps us moving even when the distances seem insurmountable. Tonight, let your curiosity drift with you towards sleep. Let it carry you past the moon, past Mars, past the outer planets, out into the void between stars. Let it show you the distances we have yet to cross and the wonders we have yet to discover. The journey does not require a spacecraft. Not yet. Not tonight. Tonight, your imagination is the only vehicle you need. It can travel faster than light, farther than any probe, deeper into the cosmos than any telescope can see. And when you wake, the universe will still be there. Waiting, patient, full of destinations we have not yet named and wonders we have not yet imagined. Sleep well, traveler. The stars will keep their vigil while you rest. They have been doing so for billions of years. They are very good at waiting, and somewhere out there 4 light years away, or 4 billion, there may be other sleepers dreaming the same dreams, other curious minds wondering about the distances between stars, other beings asking how far they could travel in their own lifetimes. Perhaps one day we will meet them. Perhaps one day the question of how far humans can travel will be answered not by reaching a destination, but by finding others who have made similar journeys. What a day that would be. What a moment in the long history of the cosmos. But that is a story for another time. Tonight is for rest, for letting go of the calculations and the engineering challenges and the vast, lonely numbers. Tonight is for dreaming of stars. The solar system stretches out around you like a model of possibility. The inner planets, small and rocky, baked by the nearby sun or frozen in its feeble distant light. The outer giants, massive and mysterious, wrapped in clouds and circled by moons that might themselves be worlds worth exploring. Beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, a ring of icy bodies left over from the formation of the solar system. Pluto lives here, along with countless smaller objects. Some of them may never have been touched by light brighter than the distant glow of our sun. And beyond the Kuiper Belt lies the Oort cloud, a theoretical shell of comets and icy debris extending perhaps halfway to the nearest star. No spacecraft has ever reached the Oort cloud. Voyager 1, our most distant probe, will take about 300 years to reach its inner edge, and perhaps 30,000 years to pass through it entirely. 300 years to reach the inner Oort cloud, 30,000 years to exit our solar system completely, and then another 40,000 years to reach Proxima Centauri. These numbers can feel crushing when you consider them directly. They can make interstellar travel seem not just difficult but absurd. Why would anyone even attempt a journey measured in tens of thousands of years? But remember time dilation. Remember the strange gift that physics gives to those who travel fast enough. At half the speed of light, the journey to the inner Oort cloud would take only a few weeks. At 90% of light speed, the entire solar system, from the sun to the outer limits of the Oort cloud, could be traversed in a matter of months. Speed changes everything. It is the magic that transforms impossible distances into manageable journeys. It is the key that unlocks the cosmos for human exploration. We do not have that key yet. Our fastest spacecraft are still creeping along at tiny fractions of light speed, but we know the key exists. We know where to find it. We know, in principle, how it would work. The challenge is building the lock, creating the propulsion systems that can accelerate spacecraft to the speeds where time dilation becomes significant, solving the engineering problems of shielding, life support, navigation, and communication over interstellar distances. These are hard problems, perhaps the hardest problems humanity has ever faced. But they are problems, not impossibilities. They have solutions, even if we do not know what those solutions are yet. Every problem has a solution or an explanation for why no solution exists. For interstellar travel, physics provides no explanation for impossibility. It simply provides challenges that our current technology cannot yet meet. That distinction matters. It is the difference between something being physically impossible and something being merely very, very difficult. Flying was once very, very difficult. Now billions of people do it every year without a second thought. Communicating instantly across thousands of miles was once very, very difficult. Now we carry devices in our pockets that make it trivial. Perhaps interstellar travel will follow the same path. Perhaps in a few centuries, a few millennia, or a few million years, traveling between stars will be as routine as traveling between continents is today. Or perhaps not. Perhaps there are barriers we do not yet understand. Perhaps the energy requirements will prove insurmountable. Perhaps the psychological challenges of long-duration spaceflight will never be solved. Perhaps some unforeseen factor will keep humanity forever trapped in our single solar system. We cannot know. The future is fundamentally unpredictable. All we can do is keep learning, keep building, keep reaching toward the stars, and tonight, keep dreaming. The dreams of one generation become the goals of the next and the achievements of the one after that. What we imagine in darkness sometimes emerges into the light of day. The spacecraft that will one day carry humans to the stars may already exist as a sketch in someone's notebook, a simulation in someone's computer, an idea in someone's mind. Perhaps that someone is you. Perhaps the solution to interstellar travel will emerge from a thought you have not yet had, an insight you have not yet gained, a connection you have not yet made. The universe does not care where discoveries come from. It only cares that the laws of physics are obeyed. Within those laws lies tremendous freedom. Freedom to build and create and explore. Freedom to transform dreams into reality. You have that freedom. Every human being has that freedom. It is our birthright as creatures of curiosity born into a universe of infinite wonder. Use it well. Dream big dreams. Ask bold questions. And never, ever let anyone tell you that the stars are out of reach. They are far away. That is true. They are difficult to reach. That is also true. But far and difficult are not the same as impossible. Impossible is a word we use when we have stopped trying, when we have given up on solutions, when we have surrendered to the darkness. The darkness is vast. The cosmos is cold. The distances are immense beyond easy comprehension. But humans have never been a species that accepted limits gracefully. We pushed past every horizon. We climbed every mountain. We crossed every ocean. We walked on another world and sent machines to the edges of our solar system. The stars are just the next horizon, the next challenge, the next test of what humans can accomplish. When we refuse to accept no for an answer, how far can you travel in a lifetime? The answer depends on what you are willing to attempt. If you stay where you are, never moving, never striving, you will travel only the distance the Earth carries you through its daily and yearly motions. Billions of miles, but always the same path, always the same view. If you venture forth, if you build ships and rockets and probes, you can extend your reach. First to the moon, then to Mars, then to the outer planets, then perhaps to the stars themselves. Each step seems impossible until it is taken. Each destination seems unreachable until it is reached. That is the pattern of human exploration. That is the rhythm of our journey from caves to castles, to skyscrapers to spacecraft. We keep moving. We keep reaching. We keep asking what lies beyond. Tonight, rest. Let your body recover from the day. Let your mind wander through the cosmos without the burden of calculation or engineering. Tomorrow, when you wake, the stars will still be there. The questions will still be waiting. The challenges will still demand solutions. But for now, for these quiet hours between waking and sleeping, you can simply drift, like a spacecraft coasting through the void, like a photon of light racing toward a distant destination, like a dream floating free of gravity and time. The universe is your home. The stars are your neighbors. The cosmos is your birthright. No matter how far you travel or how close to home you stay, that truth remains constant. You are made of star stuff, forged in nuclear furnaces billions of years ago, assembled on this small blue world, aware and wondering and alive. That is already a miracle. Everything else is just distance. And distance, as we have learned tonight, is negotiable. It bends with speed. It shrinks with velocity. It yields to determination and ingenuity. So rest now. Dream of impossible journeys and improbable destinations. Let your imagination range across the light years and your curiosity carry you to the edges of the known universe. When you wake, the work of turning dreams into reality will still be waiting. The rockets will still need building. The problems will still need solving. The stars will still need reaching. But that is tomorrow's concern. Tonight belongs to the darkness and the distant lights and the gentle certainty that somewhere out there, the universe is waiting to be explored. Good night, traveler. May your dreams carry you far. The last thing you see before sleep claims you is perhaps a window, a sliver of sky, a single star persistent enough to shine through the light pollution of your surroundings. That star is a sun. Around it, almost certainly, orbit worlds. On one of those worlds, perhaps, another being lies in darkness, looking toward our sun, wondering about the same questions you wondered tonight. Across 4 light years or 400, the curiosity is the same. The wonder is the same. The dream is the same. How far could I travel if I really tried? How much is out there waiting to be found? What would I see if I could just go far enough, fast enough, long enough? These questions connect us. They bridge the gaps between stars, between species, between minds. They are the universal language of consciousness, spoken wherever beings look up at night skies and wonder. You are not alone in your wondering. You never have been. You never will be. The cosmos is full of travelers, dreaming of journeys, planning expeditions, launching themselves into the void. One day, perhaps, we will meet them. One day, perhaps, they will tell us their stories, and we will tell them ours. What a conversation that would be. What tales we would have to share. Until then, we have tonight. We have the stars. We have our dreams. Sleep well. As your consciousness drifts toward the stillness of deep sleep, let one final thought accompany you. The universe has existed for nearly 14 billion years. In all that time, across all those stars, through all those galaxies, the question has been the same. How far can we go? Every species that ever looked up and wondered has asked that question. Every consciousness that ever emerged from matter and energy and asked about its own existence has pondered the distances between stars. We are part of that universal inquiry. Our curiosity is not unique. It is the inevitable result of minds confronting the cosmos, of awareness meeting infinity. How far can humans travel in a lifetime? As far as our dreams will carry us. As far as our determination will push us, as far as the laws of physics will allow, which is to say, remarkably far. unimaginably far, to stars and galaxies and the edges of the observable universe itself. The journey is possible. The destination is reachable. The dream is not just fantasy, but physics. Hold on to that knowledge as you fall asleep. Let it be the last bright thought before the gentle darkness of rest. The stars are waiting, and one day, perhaps, we will answer their invitation. For now, sleep, dream, travel. The morning star will rise before you wake. Venus, that bright beacon, following or leading the sun depending on the season. Ancient people thought it was two different stars. So different did it appear at dawn versus dusk. But it is one world, one planet, wrapped in clouds of sulfuric acid, spinning backward compared to most planets in our solar system. Venus is close. Sometimes it is the nearest planet to Earth, only about 24 million miles away. At those moments, it would take a spacecraft only a few months to make the journey. Yet no human has ever gone there. No human is planning to go there anytime soon. The surface temperature is hot enough to melt lead, and the atmospheric pressure would crush any conventional spacecraft. So close, and yet so forbidden. That is often the way with the cosmos. Destinations that seem tantalizingly near turn out to be hostile beyond imagination. The universe does not arrange itself for our convenience. But there are other destinations, other worlds that might welcome human visitors, or at least tolerate our presence. Mars has polar ice caps made partly of water ice. It has ancient river valleys and lake beds where water once flowed billions of years ago. It has a thin atmosphere, not breathable by humans, but substantial enough to slow down landing spacecraft. It has days almost exactly as long as Earth days and seasons similar to our own. If humans are ever going to live on another planet, Mars is the most likely candidate. Not because it is easy, but because it is the least impossible option in our immediate neighborhood. The journey to Mars takes about 7 months with current propulsion technology. During that time, astronauts would experience weightlessness, unless their spacecraft was designed to rotate and create artificial gravity. They would be exposed to solar radiation and cosmic rays. They would live in a tiny capsule with no possibility of rescue if anything went wrong. And when they arrived, they would face a world that wants to kill them in countless ways. Freezing temperatures, thin atmosphere, radiation from the unshielded sun, dust storms that can envelop the entire planet, gravity only about a third of Earth, normal, which would cause their bones and muscles to weaken over time. Why would anyone go? Why would anyone risk their life, spend years in cramped quarters, endure isolation and danger and discomfort, just to stand on red sand under a butterscotch sky? Because it is there. Because humans have always gone to the edge of the possible and then pushed past it. Because some questions can only be answered by going to look. Is there life on Mars? We do not know. Our rovers have not found any. But they have only scratched the surface, literally and figuratively. Life on Mars, if it exists, might be hiding underground, in caves, in ice deposits, in places our machines have not yet explored. Finding life on Mars would change everything. It would tell us that life is not a unique accident of Earth, but a common feature of the universe. It would suggest that wherever conditions allow, life emerges. It would transform our understanding of our place in the cosmos. That question alone is worth the journey, worth the risk, worth the years of travel and the hardship of living on an alien world. But Mars is still so close in cosmic terms, still within our solar neighborhood, still just a few light minutes from Earth. Beyond Mars lies the asteroid belt, millions of rocks ranging from dust grains to dwarf planets. Some of these asteroids contain precious metals, rare elements, water ice. They could be mined to support future space exploration, providing fuel and construction materials without the expense of lifting them from Earth's gravity well. Beyond the asteroid belt lies Jupiter, king of the planets, massive enough to hold over 1,000 Earths, surrounded by dozens of moons, some of which are worlds in their own right. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, has a frozen surface beneath which lies a global ocean of liquid water. That ocean contains more water than all the oceans of Earth combined, and where there is liquid water, there might be life. Sending a probe to Europa's ocean is one of the great challenges of space exploration. The ice shell is miles thick. Any submarine that penetrated it would need to operate autonomously for years, since radio signals take too long to travel between Jupiter and Earth for remote control. What would we find in that dark ocean? Perhaps nothing. Perhaps simple microbes. Perhaps something stranger and more wonderful than we can imagine. We will not know until we go and look. Saturn lies beyond Jupiter, with its magnificent rings and its own collection of moons. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, has a thick atmosphere and lakes of liquid methane on its surface. It is the only moon in our solar system with a substantial atmosphere, and the only body other than Earth known to have standing liquid on its surface. Titan's chemistry is exotic. The temperatures are hundreds of degrees below zero. The rain is not water but hydrocarbons. The rivers carve channels through ice as hard as rock. Could life exist in such conditions? Perhaps a form of life utterly different from anything we know. Life based on different chemistry, different energy sources, different ways of organizing matter into self-reproducing systems. Or perhaps not. Perhaps Titan is as dead as it appears through our telescopes. We will not know until we explore it more thoroughly. Uranus and Neptune wait even farther out. Ice giants wrapped in blue-green atmospheres, circled by rings and moons we have barely glimpsed. Voyager 2 flew past both planets in the 1980s and showed us strange worlds with extreme axial tilts, magnetic fields askew, moons that appear to have been captured from elsewhere. We have sent no spacecraft back to these distant giants since then. They remain the least explored planets in our solar system, mysterious and remote. And beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, Pluto's neighborhood. Thousands of icy worlds, remnants of the solar system's formation, orbiting in the cold darkness at the edge of the sun's influence. New Horizons flew past Pluto in 2015 and showed us a world far more complex and interesting than anyone expected. Heart-shaped nitrogen glaciers, mountains of water ice, a thin atmosphere that freezes and falls as snow during Pluto's long winter. How many other surprises await us in the Kuiper Belt? How many worlds have we not yet discovered, have not yet photographed, have not yet named? The inventory of our own solar system is incomplete. We are still finding new objects, still mapping the outer reaches, still learning about our cosmic backyard. This is the arena where human space travel will play out for the foreseeable future. Not among the stars, not yet, but among the planets and moons and asteroids and comets of our own sun's domain. A human lifetime is long enough to explore this arena thoroughly, long enough to visit every planet, stand on every major moon, sample the ice of comets and the rocks of asteroids. With constant 1g acceleration, you could reach Pluto in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks from Earth to the edge of the classical solar system. That is shorter than many ocean voyages in the age of sail. Of course, we cannot yet achieve constant 1g acceleration for extended periods. Our spacecraft coast for most of their journeys, coasting being just another word for falling through space in a controlled direction. But imagine what human exploration could look like with faster propulsion. Imagine missions to the outer solar system that take months instead of years. Imagine scientists able to visit half a dozen worlds in a single career, rather than spending an entire life waiting for data from one probe to arrive. The solar system would open up like a flower. Every destination would become accessible. Every question would become answerable. The great age of exploration would begin anew, this time with the entire sun's family as its domain. This vision is not fantasy. It is engineering. Hard engineering, expensive engineering, but engineering nonetheless. Fusion propulsion could cut travel times dramatically. Nuclear thermal rockets could double or triple the efficiency of chemical engines. Solar sails could provide continuous low acceleration over long periods. Each technology has its challenges. Each requires development and investment and testing. But none violates the laws of physics. All are within the realm of possibility for a civilization willing to commit resources to their development. The question is not whether we can explore the solar system thoroughly. The question is whether we will choose to do so. That choice belongs to you, to your generation, to the humans living now and in the coming decades. Will we turn inward, focusing on the problems of our single world? Will we turn outward, reaching for the planets and eventually the stars? Will we find some balance between these impulses, addressing Earth's challenges, while also extending humanity's presence into space? These are political questions, economic questions, ethical questions. They are beyond the scope of physics and engineering. They depend on what humans decide to value, how humans choose to allocate resources, what kind of future humans want to create. But tonight is not about those difficult choices. Tonight is about the simple wonder of the cosmos, the distances, the possibilities, the strange and beautiful behavior of space and time at high velocities. Tonight is about dreaming. So dream of spacecraft that can accelerate forever. Dream of journeys measured in weeks instead of years. Dream of stepping onto worlds no human has ever touched. Breathing recycled air beneath alien skies. These dreams are not idle fantasies. They are roadmaps, previews of what might be, glimpses of possible futures waiting to be chosen. The sun is one star among billions in our galaxy. The Milky Way is one galaxy among trillions in the observable universe. The scale of existence is so vast that no human mind can truly comprehend it. But we can reach toward it. We can extend ourselves as far as physics allows. We can travel, in one human lifetime, farther than our ancestors could have imagined possible. 20 years to the center of the galaxy, 30 years to Andromeda, 45 years to the edge of the observable universe. These numbers are not made up. They are the calculations of relativistic physics, tested and verified countless times. They describe real journeys that could really be made by real humans in real spacecraft, if only we could accelerate fast enough. The catch is the if. The catch is always the if. If we could build antimatter engines, if we could store enough fuel, if we could protect travelers from radiation, if we could solve the thousands of engineering problems between here and the stars. But ifs are not impossibilities. They are challenges. They are problems waiting for solutions. They are invitations to human ingenuity. Some of those challenges may prove insurmountable. Perhaps we will never cross the interstellar gulf. Perhaps the stars will remain forever out of reach, beautiful but untouchable. But that is not what physics tells us. Physics tells us the journey is possible. Physics opens the door and invites us through. Whether we accept the invitation is up to us. Meanwhile, the cosmos waits. Patient, vast, indifferent to our choices. The Andromeda Galaxy is approaching our Milky Way at roughly 250,000 miles per hour. In about 4 billion years, the two galaxies will begin to merge. A collision that will take hundreds of millions of years to complete. New stars will form from compressed gas clouds. Some existing stars will be flung into intergalactic space. The night sky will be transformed, eventually becoming a blaze of new light as billions of stars crowd together. If humans or our descendants are still around in 4 billion years, they will witness this cosmic spectacle. They will see two galaxies become one, a merger that happens countless times throughout the universe, but rarely within the lifetime of any single civilization. Of course, 4 billion years is an unimaginably long time. Our entire species has existed for only a few 100,000 years. Recorded history spans mere millennia. Human civilization is a baby in cosmic terms, only just beginning to open its eyes. What will we become in the next million years? The next billion? Will we spread across the galaxy, colonizing world after world? Will we transcend our biological origins, becoming something new and strange? Will we make contact with other intelligences, learning that we are not alone? Or will we remain here, on this single small world, eventually fading away as all species eventually do? These questions have no answers tonight. They belong to the far future, to descendants we cannot imagine, to a universe we will never see. But they connect us to that future. They link our present moment to the vast sweep of time that will follow. You are part of that sweep. Your atoms will persist long after your consciousness ends. The matter that makes up your body will be recycled into other forms, other beings, other structures. Nothing is ever truly lost in the universe. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. The light from your life, the electromagnetic radiation you emit simply by being warm, spreads outward at the speed of light and will travel forever through the expanding cosmos. In some sense, you are already traveling to the stars. Your thermal radiation left your body years ago and has been spreading through space ever since. Some of it has already passed the moon. Some has reached Mars. The oldest radiation from your earliest moments is now approaching the outer planets. Given enough time, that radiation will reach the stars, will reach other galaxies, will spread to the edges of the observable universe. You are not just a traveler of space. You are a broadcaster, sending signals into the cosmos simply by existing. Perhaps somewhere out there, some impossibly advanced civilization has receivers sensitive enough to detect individual humans from thermal radiation alone. Perhaps they are watching us right now, cataloguing our species, wondering when we will figure out interstellar travel. Or perhaps not. Perhaps the universe is as empty as it appears, and the only travelers among the stars are the photons we emit without knowing. Either way, you are connected to the cosmos. You are part of it. You are not a visitor or an observer, but a participant. The universe is experiencing itself through you, through your eyes, through your thoughts, through your dreams of traveling among the stars. That is perhaps the strangest and most wonderful truth of all. The cosmos has produced creatures capable of contemplating the cosmos. Matter has organized itself into forms that can think about matter. The universe has become aware of itself. You are that awareness. So am I. So is everyone who has ever wondered about the nature of existence. And when we dream of traveling to the stars, we are the universe dreaming about exploring itself. When we ask how far humans can travel in a lifetime, We are the cosmos asking about its own accessibility. These are not just human questions. They are cosmic questions, asked by a piece of the cosmos that happens to have become conscious. How far can the universe travel within itself? How much can existence know about existence? What are the limits of self-awareness applied to a 14 billion-year-old, 93 billion light-year-wide expansion of space and time and matter and energy? These questions are too big for answers. They are too vast for comprehension. But they are worth asking anyway, just as it is worth reaching for the stars even if we can never touch them. The reaching matters, the wondering matters, the dreaming matters. Because every destination begins as a dream. Every journey starts with a question. Every achievement emerges from imagination before it crystallizes into reality. Tonight you dream. Tomorrow, perhaps you build. Or perhaps you simply continue dreaming, passing your questions to the next generation, adding your wonder to the collective human inquiry that has been running since the first conscious being looked up at the stars. That inquiry will continue long after you are gone. It may continue for millions or billions of years. It may continue until the universe itself grows cold and dark and empty. What answers will it find? What destinations will it reach? What journeys will it complete? We cannot know. We can only contribute our piece. Add our dreams to the total, pass the torch to those who come after, and trust that the universe, vast and patient and beautiful, will keep its invitation open. Come, it says, explore, see what lies beyond the next horizon. The invitation is always there, has always been there, will always be there. Accepting it is up to us. For now, you rest. You recover your strength. You let your mind wander through the possibilities. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow you can think about rockets and propulsion systems and orbital mechanics. Tomorrow you can work on the problems that separate us from the stars. But tonight belongs to the darkness and the distant lights and the gentle truth that you are, have always been, and will always be a traveler through space. Good night, fellow wanderer. May your dreams be vast and your rest peaceful. The morning will come, as it always does. The sun will rise, as it has for billions of years, and the stars, hidden by daylight but never truly gone, will continue their ancient dance around the galaxy. When next you see them, perhaps you will look at them differently. Perhaps you will see not just lights, but destinations. Not just distances, but challenges. Not just the limits of human reach, but the extent of human possibility. That is what understanding physics gives us. Not answers that close questions, but perspectives that open new ones. How far can humans travel in a lifetime? We have explored that question from many angles tonight. We have looked at current technology and future possibilities. We have considered time dilation and relativistic physics. We have dreamed of journeys to nearby stars and distant galaxies. The answer, we have found, is not a single number, but a spectrum. From the moon to Mars with current rockets, from Mars to the outer planets with improved propulsion, from the solar system to the stars with technologies not yet invented, from the stars to the edges of the observable universe with speeds approaching light. At every scale, new possibilities emerge. At every level, new challenges arise. But nowhere does physics say stop. Nowhere do the laws of nature declare a destination permanently off limits. The universe is open to us, all of it. Every star, every galaxy, every destination we can imagine. We just have to figure out how to get there. And we will. Not tonight, not tomorrow, perhaps not for centuries. But eventually, humans or our descendants will stand beneath alien suns and remember the nights we spent dreaming of exactly that. They will look back at us, at our generation, and see the dreamers who made their journey possible, the visionaries who refused to accept that the stars were out of reach, the explorers who first asked, seriously and persistently, how far humans could really travel in a lifetime. That legacy is worth creating. That future is worth imagining. Those dreams are worth having. So rest now, dream well, and when you wake, carry a piece of the cosmos with you. You are made of stars. You are bound for stars. Everything in between is just the journey. The night grows deeper. The stars wheel overhead, invisible but present. Somewhere, photons that left distant suns millions of years ago are just now arriving at Earth, completing journeys that began before humans existed. You are surrounded by ancient light, bathed in photons that have crossed unimaginable distances, connected through radiation to every star in the sky. This connection is not mystical or metaphorical. It is physical, real, measurable. The light enters your eyes, triggers electrical signals, creates patterns in your neurons. The universe literally writes itself into your brain every time you look up. And when you dream, some of those patterns activate. Neural networks shaped by starlight fire in the darkness of sleep. The cosmos echoes through your consciousness even as your body lies. Still, you are never truly separated from the universe. You are never truly alone. Even in the quietest moment, in the deepest sleep, you remain part of something vast and ancient and ongoing. That thought can be terrifying or comforting depending on your perspective. The vastness of space can make human concerns seem trivial. The age of the universe can make human lives seem impossibly brief. But there is another way to see it, a way that finds meaning in the very scale that might otherwise feel crushing. Consider this. The universe is 14 billion years old. It contains trillions of galaxies. It has produced countless stars and planets and moons. And yet, as far as we know, you are one of the only parts of the universe that has ever wondered about any of this. In 14 billion years, across trillions of galaxies, the universe has produced vanishingly few conscious beings capable of contemplating their own existence. Perhaps we are not alone. Perhaps life is common. Perhaps the cosmos teems with wondering minds. But perhaps not. Perhaps consciousness is rare beyond imagination. Perhaps you are among the most precious phenomena the universe has ever produced. Either way, your wondering matters. Your questions have cosmic significance. Your dreams of traveling to the stars are not trivial distractions, but the universe asking about its own nature. That is worth remembering when the scale of existence feels overwhelming. You are not insignificant. You are literally the cosmos trying to understand itself. And understanding, in some deep sense, is what the universe is for. Not in a designed or intentional way. The universe has no purpose in that sense. But consciousness emerged from matter, and consciousness asks questions, and questions are a form of connection. Every question links the questioner to what is being questioned. Every wonder creates a relationship between the one who wonders and the thing wondered about. You are in relationship with the stars every time you look at them. You are in relationship with the cosmos every time you ask how far humans might travel. That relationship is real. It matters. It is part of what makes you who you are. So take comfort in the vastness. Find peace in the distances. Let the scale of the universe hold you, rather than diminish you. You are home here, among the stars. You always have been. Now rest. The journey continues tomorrow. The questions will still be waiting. The cosmos will still extend its invitation. But for these hours, for this night, you have permission to simply be, to exist, to rest. The universe can take care of itself for a while. It has been doing so for billions of years. It does not need you to solve all its mysteries tonight. Let the mysteries wait. Let the distances remain uncrossed. Let the questions float unanswered. Tomorrow you can reach again. Tonight you can simply drift. Like a spacecraft coasting between planets. Like a photon spreading through empty space. Like a dream expanding through the corridors of sleep. You are already traveling. You have been traveling since the moment you were born. Every second, every heartbeat, every breath, the cosmos carries you forward. Trust that journey. Trust the motion you cannot feel. Trust the universe to continue its expansion while you rest. The stars are patient. They have been shining for billions of years and will continue for billions more. They do not mind if you sleep. They do not demand constant attention. Look at them when you can. Dream of them when you cannot. And know that they will be there, faithful and unchanging, whenever you are ready to look again. 4 light years to the nearest star. 28,000 light years to the center of the galaxy. 2.5 million light years to Andromeda. 13 billion light years to the edge of the observable universe. These distances exist. They are real. And somewhere within them, perhaps, other minds are dreaming the same dreams you dream tonight. Other beings wondering about the distances between stars. Other consciousnesses asking how far they might travel in their own lifetimes. Other pieces of the cosmos contemplating their place within it. You are not alone in your wondering. You never were. You never will be. The universe is vast enough to hold many dreamers, many travelers, many questioners. Some of them may already be among the stars. Some may still be bound to single worlds, as we are. Some may exist in forms we cannot imagine, asking questions in ways we cannot comprehend. But they are asking. Somewhere out there they are asking. And their questions connect to yours. Create a web of wonder stretching across the light years. Link consciousness to consciousness in a network of curiosity. That network is real as the galaxies, as real as the space between stars. You are part of it. Your wondering tonight adds to it. Your dreams contribute to the great cosmic inquiry. The universe asked those questions through you tonight. It used your neurons, your imagination, your sense of wonder. And now the universe lets you rest. Thanks you for your participation. Promises to continue the inquiry while you sleep. Tomorrow there will be more questions, more wonders, more distances to contemplate. But tonight is for peace. Good night, universe. Good night, stars. Good night, fellow wanderers scattered across the cosmos. May all our dreams meet somewhere among the light years. May all our journeys lead to understanding, and may we wake refreshed and renewed, ready to continue the great exploration that is consciousness confronting existence. Sleep well, dream far, travel in imagination, wherever the cosmos invites you. The morning star rises somewhere beyond your window, Venus, or perhaps Jupiter, depending on the season. A light in the darkness, older than humanity, burning steadily through the ages. It will still be there when you wake. The stars will still be there. The universe will still be there. Everything waits for you, patiently, eternally, with infinite hospitality. Come back to the wonder when you are ready. For now, rest. The cosmos holds you gently, like a parent holding a sleeping child. Safe, warm, loved. You are home among the stars. You always were. You always will be. Rest now, dream. And when you wake, remember the universe is yours to explore. Every light year of it, every star, every wonder, yours. So sleep. The journey continues. The destination awaits, and you, precious traveler, have earned your rest. Good night. The silence of space is absolute. There is no air to carry sound, no medium to transmit the vibrations we call hearing. If you could somehow float unprotected in the void between stars, you would hear nothing. Not the hum of distant engines, not the roar of solar winds, not the rumble of colliding galaxies. Absolute, perfect silence. This silence is hard to imagine for beings who have evolved on a planet full of sound. From the moment we are born, we are surrounded by noise, heartbeats, breathing, wind, water, the endless murmur of a living world. Space has none of this. It is quiet in a way that defies description, a quietness so complete that it becomes its own form of presence. Some astronauts describe the silence of space as peaceful. Others find it unsettling. The absence of sound reminds us how far we are from everything familiar, how alien the cosmos truly is. But in that silence, there is also freedom. Freedom from distraction. Freedom from the constant noise of civilization. Freedom to think, to contemplate, to wonder. Perhaps that is why so many astronauts return from space with a changed perspective on life. The silence gives them space to think thoughts they had never thought before, to ask questions they had never thought to ask. What would you think about floating in silence among the stars? What questions would arise when all the noise of daily life fell away? These are questions worth considering, even here on Earth, even surrounded by sound. Because the universe itself is mostly silent, and understanding that silence is part of understanding our place within it. The cosmic microwave background radiation fills all of space with a faint echo of the Big Bang. It is the oldest light in the universe, stretched by expansion into microwaves that permeate every corner of existence. If you could translate these microwaves into sound, they would produce a low hum, a kind of cosmic baseline against which all other phenomena play out. Scientists have done exactly this in demonstrations, creating audio representations of the cosmic background that sound like static mixed with a deep, omnipresent tone. This is the music of creation, the afterglow of the moment when the universe became transparent to light, the sound of everything beginning. In a sense, we are all surrounded by this ancient light. It streams through our bodies constantly, a reminder that we live inside an expanding universe that began 14 billion years ago in an unimaginably hot, dense state. You cannot see the cosmic microwave background with your eyes. You cannot hear it with your ears. But it is there, always there, the wallpaper of the universe. When spacecraft travel through space, they travel through this radiation. When telescopes look into the distance, they see galaxies against this backdrop. When you lie in bed at night, photons from this ancient light are passing through your room, your body, your brain. The universe is speaking to us constantly. We just do not have the organs to hear it directly, but we have instruments. We have telescopes and receivers and detectors. We have built mechanical ears and eyes that can perceive what our biology cannot. Through these instruments, we have learned that the universe is far stranger and more wonderful than anyone guessed before we could listen properly. We have learned that most of the matter in the universe is invisible, exerting gravity but emitting no light. We call it dark matter, a name that reflects our ignorance more than our knowledge. We have learned that the expansion of the universe is accelerating, pushed outward by something we call dark energy, another confession of our limited understanding. We have learned that space itself can bend and warp, that time can slow and speed depending on gravity and motion, that the intuitions we developed as primates on a small planet are wildly inadequate for comprehending the cosmos. These are humbling lessons. They teach us that no matter how much we learn, there is always more to discover. The universe is not yielding its secrets easily or quickly, but it is yielding them. Slowly, painstakingly, one observation at a time, we are assembling a picture of existence that becomes more detailed and more beautiful with each passing decade. The picture is not complete. It may never be complete, but it is growing, and that growth is itself a kind of journey. We are traveling through knowledge even as we dream of traveling through space. We are exploring the cosmos with our minds even as we long to explore it with our bodies. Both journeys matter. Both journeys are worth pursuing. Tonight, you contribute to the journey of knowledge simply by wondering. Your curiosity adds to the collective human effort to understand the universe. Your questions, even if unspoken, participate in the great inquiry that has occupied our species since we first looked up at the stars. You do not have to be a scientist to participate. You do not have to be an astronaut or an engineer or a mathematician. You just have to wonder, to ask, to dream. And tonight, you have done all of these things. The galaxies are receding from us at speeds that increase with distance. The most distant galaxies we can observe are moving away so fast that they are approaching the speed of light. Eventually, if the universe continues its current expansion, those galaxies will cross the cosmological horizon and become forever unreachable. This is a strange and unsettling thought. Parts of the universe that are currently visible will eventually vanish from our view, carried beyond the reach of light by the expansion of space itself. Cosmologists call this the event horizon of the universe. It is not a physical barrier, but a mathematical one. Beyond a certain distance, the expansion of space outruns the speed of light, and anything beyond that point can never send us a signal. The universe is getting lonelier. With each passing moment, the horizon shrinks slightly. Galaxies that were visible yesterday will be invisible tomorrow, 1 billion years from now, 1 trillion years hence. This cosmic loneliness might seem depressing, but it can also be seen as a kind of motivation. The universe is finite in a practical sense. The time we have to explore it is limited. If we want to see the distant galaxies, we need to look now, while they are still within our view. If we want to travel to distant destinations, we need to start soon, before the expansion carries them beyond reach. The cosmos is not waiting for us. It is evolving, changing, becoming less accessible with each passing era. This urgency is subtle. The changes happen over millions and billions of years. No individual human will notice the difference within their lifetime, but as a species, we might, and as a civilization, we certainly will. The galaxies we can see today will be gone in the far future. The stars that light our night sky will burn out and fade. The universe itself will slowly wind down, spending its energy until nothing remains but cold, dark emptiness. This is the ultimate fate of existence according to current physics, the heat death of the universe, the long, slow fade into eternal night. But that fate is trillions of years away. Plenty of time for exploration, plenty of time for discovery, plenty of time for humanity or whatever we become to spread among the stars and make our mark on the cosmos. The question is whether we will use that time, whether we will rise to the challenge of interstellar travel, whether we will expand beyond our single world before some catastrophe ends our story. These are heavy thoughts for a peaceful night. Perhaps too heavy. Let them go. Let them drift away like stars setting below the horizon. Tomorrow, they will still be there, waiting to be considered again. But tonight is for rest, for peace, for the gentle certainty that you exist, that you wonder, that you matter, The universe produced you. 14 billion years of cosmic evolution led to this moment, to you lying in the darkness, thinking about the stars. You are the universe contemplating itself. You are matter become aware. You are the cosmos asking questions about its own nature. That is a privilege, a wonder, a miracle of the most ordinary kind. Every conscious being in the universe shares this privilege. Every mind that has ever looked up at the stars has participated in the same grand inquiry. You are part of something vast and ancient and ongoing. A conversation between existence and awareness that began before there were words and will continue long after your voice falls silent. Rest in that knowledge. Let it comfort you. Let it hold you as you drift towards sleep. The conversation will continue. The questions will keep being asked. The universe will keep revealing itself to those who wonder. You have done your part for tonight. You have wondered. You have asked. You have dreamed. Now let sleep come. Let the stars wheel overhead. Let the cosmos continue its vast, patient work of becoming. Tomorrow, or next week, or next year, you can wonder again. You can ask new questions and dream new dreams. But for now, rest. The journey has been long tonight. From the moon to Mars to the outer planets. From our solar system to the nearest stars. From Proxima Centauri to the Andromeda Galaxy. From our local neighborhood to the edge of the observable universe. We have traveled far, you and I. Far in thought, if not in body. Far in imagination, if not in spacecraft. And we have learned something along the way. We have learned that the universe is bigger than we can easily comprehend, but not beyond our reach. We have learned that time bends to speed, opening doors that seemed permanently closed. We have learned that a single human lifetime, properly accelerated, could span distances that make our current travels seem like standing still. These are precious lessons, worth remembering, worth sharing, worth passing on to those who will come after us. The stars are waiting. They have been waiting for billions of years. They will wait a while longer while we figure out how to reach them. But they will not wait forever, and neither should we. Somewhere in the future, a human being will stand on a world orbiting another star. They will look up at a sky full of unfamiliar constellations and think about Earth, about the small blue dot that gave birth to their species so long ago and so far away. And they will remember nights like this one, nights when their ancestors lay in darkness and dreamed of exactly this moment. That future is coming. It may be centuries away. It may be millennia, but it is coming. And when it arrives, when the first humans set foot on worlds beyond our solar system, they will be fulfilling a dream that began long before they were born. A dream that began with the first conscious being who looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. You are part of that dream. Your wondering tonight adds to it. Your curiosity contributes to the great chain of human aspiration that will one day carry us to the stars. That is worth remembering as you fall asleep. That is worth holding in your heart. You are a dreamer among dreamers, a wanderer among wanderers, a traveler, even now, even in stillness, through the great expanse of cosmic time and space. Sleep well, traveler. The stars will keep their vigil, and one day we will join them. The last light fades from your window, or perhaps there never was any light, just the soft darkness of night. Either way, the moment has come for sleep to claim you, for consciousness to subside, for dreams to begin. What will you dream tonight? Perhaps of distant galaxies and impossible journeys, perhaps of everyday concerns and familiar faces, perhaps of nothing at all, just the quiet restoration of a mind at rest. Whatever your dreams bring, know that the universe will be there when you wake, the same stars, the same planets, the same cosmic distances waiting to be pondered again. Nothing fundamental will change overnight. The Andromeda Galaxy will not arrive while you sleep. The nearest star will not move measurably closer. The laws of physics will remain exactly as they were. But you might change. Dreams have a way of working on us, of rearranging our thoughts and feelings in ways we do not expect. You might wake with new ideas, new perspectives, new questions. Or you might wake exactly as you fell asleep, refreshed but otherwise unchanged. That is fine too. Not every night brings transformation. What matters is that you rest, that you recover, that you prepare yourself for another day of being conscious in an astonishing universe. Because consciousness is work. Awareness takes energy. Wondering, asking, dreaming, all of these things require resources that sleep replenishes. So let sleep do its work. Let it repair the damage of the day. Let it consolidate the memories and insights. Let it prepare you for whatever tomorrow brings. The universe has 14 billion years of experience with making things. It made stars and planets and galaxies. It made life on at least one world, and perhaps on countless others. It made you with your capacity for wonder and your ability to ask questions. Trust that the same universe that made you knows how to maintain you. Trust that sleep is part of the design, a necessary pause in the relentless activity of consciousness. You do not have to understand everything. You do not have to solve all the puzzles tonight. You do not have to travel to the stars in your imagination or your dreams. You can simply rest, simply be, simply exist in the darkness, one small conscious being on one small world, surrounded by vastness you did not create and cannot control. That is enough, more than enough. It is, when you think about it, quite wonderful. Good night, dreamer. May the cosmos hold you gently. May your rest be deep and your dreams be wide. And may you wake to find the stars still waiting, patient as ever, beautiful as always, yours to wonder about for another day. The breath slows, the body relaxes, the mind releases its grip on waking thought. Somewhere above, invisible through whatever ceiling shields you from the sky, the stars continue their ancient dance. Galaxies rotate, planets orbit. Comets trace their long ellipses through the dark. None of it depends on you. None of it requires your attention. The universe will manage itself while you sleep, just as it did for billions of years before consciousness emerged, just as it will for trillions of years after the last mind fades away. This is either terrifying or comforting, depending on how you choose to see it. The indifference of the cosmos can feel like abandonment, or it can feel like freedom. Tonight, let it feel like freedom. Freedom from responsibility, freedom from control, freedom to simply drift, like a spacecraft coasting between planets through the hours until morning. The journey we have taken tonight was mental, not physical. We traveled in thought, not in rockets. We covered distances that would take generations to cross in reality. But mental journeys have their own value. They prepare us for what might come. They expand our sense of the possible. They keep the dream alive when the technology is not yet ready. Every physical journey begins as a mental one. Before anyone sails across an ocean, someone must first imagine that the other side exists. Before anyone walks on the moon, someone must first believe that walking on the moon is possible. We are doing that work now. We are imagining interstellar travel. We are believing in journeys to the stars. We are preparing our minds for what our bodies might one day do. That preparation matters. It changes how we think about ourselves, about our species, about our place in the universe. We are not just inhabitants of Earth. We are potential travelers of the cosmos. We are beings who might one day spread across the galaxy, might one day meet other minds, might one day understand secrets we cannot even imagine now. That potential is part of who we are. It shapes our dreams and our aspirations. It makes us more than we would be if we believed ourselves forever trapped on a single world. Tonight, hold on to that potential. Let it be a comfort as you sleep. Let it remind you that the future is not fixed, that possibilities exist beyond what we can currently achieve, that the stars are waiting for us to figure out how to reach them. The journey continues, even in sleep. The dream does not end when you close your eyes. It simply changes form, becomes something unconscious, works on you in ways you will not remember. And when you wake, the universe will still be there, vast and ancient and full of wonder, ready to be contemplated again, ready to inspire new dreams. That is the gift of existence, the gift of consciousness, the gift of being a wandering creature in a wonderful cosmos. Accept the gift. Rest in it. Let it carry you through the night. Tomorrow, the questions will still be waiting. The distances will still be vast. The challenges will still be immense. But tomorrow will also bring new light, new energy, new opportunities to wonder and explore. For now, let there be darkness. Let there be quiet. Let there be the peace of a mind at rest. The stars are watching. They do not sleep. They cannot dream. But they shine faithfully endlessly, across distances we are only beginning to understand. Let their light be a blessing on your rest. Let their constancy be a comfort. Let their vastness remind you, even in dreams, of how much there is to explore. Good night. Sleep well. And when you wake, remember the stars are still there, waiting to welcome you back to the great adventure of conscious existence. The cosmos goes on. The cosmos always goes on. And you, for a little while longer at least, get to be part of it. What a privilege. What a wonder. What a beautiful thing it is to be alive and aware in a universe so vast and so full of mysteries. Cherish it. Even in sleep, cherish it. And dream, if you can, of stars. The hours pass. The Earth rotates beneath its blanket of atmosphere. On the other side of the planet, people are waking to a new day, going about their lives, unaware that you lie here in darkness, thinking about the cosmos. This simultaneity is strange when you consider it. At any moment, some humans are sleeping while others are awake. The collective consciousness of our species never fully shuts down. Someone is always watching the stars. We are a species that looks upward. It is one of our defining characteristics. From the earliest cave paintings to the latest space telescopes, humans have always been fascinated by what lies above. Other animals do not share this fascination. Dogs do not contemplate the moon. Birds do not wonder about distant galaxies. Only humans, as far as we know, gaze at the night sky and ask what it all means. This upward gaze has driven much of our progress. Astronomy was one of the first sciences. Navigation by stars enabled exploration and trade. The dream of space travel has inspired generations of engineers and scientists. We are creatures of the cosmos in more ways than one. Our bodies are made of elements forged in stellar furnaces. Our minds evolved under starlit skies. Our future, perhaps, lies among the stars themselves. That connection is worth remembering. We did not come from nowhere. We are not separate from the universe. We are part of it, deeply and fundamentally. The calcium in your bones was made in an exploding star. The oxygen you breathe was produced by ancient photosynthesis, itself powered by sunlight. The iron in your blood was forged in the core of a massive star that died billions of years ago. You are literally made of stardust. This is not poetry but chemistry, not metaphor but fact. And the stardust that makes up your body is wondering about the stars from which it came. That is perhaps the strangest loop of all. The universe has created something that can think about the universe. When you dream of traveling to the stars, you are essentially dreaming of going home, of returning to the cosmic forge that created the elements from which you are made. That longing for the stars might be written into our very atoms, a kind of cosmic homesickness, a pull toward the source of everything we are. Of course, the universe is indifferent to our longings. Stars do not care whether we reach them. Galaxies do not notice our aspirations. But we care. We notice. We dream. And our dreaming is itself a cosmic phenomenon, a natural consequence of matter becoming sufficiently complex to reflect on itself. Somewhere in the vast expanse of space, other dreamers may be lying in their own beds, on their own worlds, wondering about the same questions we wonder about tonight. What lies beyond the horizon? How far can we travel? Are we alone? These questions transcend species and biology. They arise wherever consciousness arises. They are universal in the deepest sense of the word. We may never meet those other dreamers. The distances may be too great, the times too short. Each civilization might rise and fall in isolation, never knowing that others existed. But perhaps not. Perhaps someday, somehow, we will reach across the void and find kindred minds. Perhaps the universe is not as lonely as it appears. That hope sustains many of us. The hope of contact, the hope of communication, the hope that our wondering is not unique, that our dreams are shared, that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Whether that hope is justified, we cannot know. The cosmos keeps its secrets well, but hope is its own reward. It gives meaning to our efforts. It inspires our technologies. It drives us to keep looking, keep listening, keep reaching. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, hold on to that hope. Let it be a warm presence in the darkness. Let it remind you that the universe, for all its vastness and indifference, may yet hold surprises. We have been listening for signals from extraterrestrial intelligence for decades. So far, we have heard only silence. But the search continues. New telescopes come online. New detection methods are developed. The net grows wider, the sensitivity increases. Perhaps tomorrow, or next year, or next century, someone will detect a signal that changes everything. A pattern in the noise, a message from the stars, or perhaps not. Perhaps we are alone, at least in our cosmic neighborhood. Perhaps the nearest other civilization is so far away that we will never know they existed. Either answer would be profound. Either answer would transform our understanding of existence. But tonight, we do not have to choose between hope and despair. Tonight, we can simply rest with the question unanswered, the mystery unresolved. The uncertainty itself is beautiful in its way. It means that wonder is still possible, that discovery is still available, that the future holds surprises we cannot anticipate. Certainty is comfortable, but uncertainty is exciting. Not knowing is painful, but it is also an invitation to keep asking, keep exploring, keep dreaming. Accept that invitation tonight. Let the mystery be your companion. Let the not knowing be a space where possibilities live. Tomorrow you can seek answers. Tonight you can simply be with the questions. The questions themselves are precious. They connect us to everyone who has ever wondered. They link us to the great human tradition of inquiry. Aristotle asked questions about the stars. So did Galileo and Newton and Einstein. So do the scientists working right now in observatories around the world. And so do you. Your questions tonight join that tradition. They add to the ongoing conversation between humanity and the cosmos. That conversation has no end. It will continue as long as there are minds to wonder and stars to wonder about. You are part of something ancient and ongoing, a river of curiosity flowing from the past into the future, a chorus of voices asking the same essential questions, generation after generation. Rest in that belonging. Let it comfort you. Let it remind you that you are not alone in your wondering, that billions of humans before you have gazed at the same sky and asked the same questions. They found some answers. They passed those answers on. And now you inherit their knowledge, their questions, their dreams. What will you pass on to those who come after? What answers will you find? What questions will you ask that no one has asked before? These are not questions for tonight. Tonight is for rest, not for striving. But they are questions worth keeping in mind. Questions about your place in the great human project of understanding the universe. Everyone contributes something. The scientist in her laboratory, the teacher in his classroom, the child looking up at the moon for the first time. All contributions matter. All wonder adds to the total. All curiosity expands the boundaries of human knowledge. Your contribution might be small. It might be invisible. It might never be recognized by anyone but yourself. But it is real. It counts. It matters. The universe is slightly different because you wondered tonight. The sum of human questioning has increased by one more thoughtful mind considering the distances between stars. That is enough. That is more than enough. Rest now. Let sleep claim you. Let dreams take you wherever they will. The cosmos will be here when you return. The stars will still be shining. The questions will still be waiting. And you will wake, refreshed, ready to wonder again. What a gift it is to be a wondering creature. What a privilege to be conscious in a universe so full of things to be conscious about. Cherish that privilege. Use it well. And when the time comes, pass it on. The conversation continues. The journey goes on. The dream does not die with any individual dreamer. It lives in the collective human consciousness. It persists across generations. It grows stronger with each mind that joins the inquiry. You are part of that dream. You always have been. You always will be. Now sleep. Let the dream work on you in ways you will not remember. And when you wake, step back into the great adventure of existence with renewed energy and expanded wonder. The stars are waiting. The questions are waiting. The future is waiting. All of it, waiting for you. Good night. The deepest part of the night has arrived. Those hours before dawn when the world is at its quietest and the darkness is most complete. This is the time when thoughts can drift freely, when the boundary between waking and sleeping becomes fluid, when dreams begin to mix with reality. Let yourself drift. Let the boundaries blur. Let the cosmos and your consciousness merge into something larger than either one alone. This is what meditation masters call the liminal state, the threshold between one kind of experience and another. The doorway through which insight sometimes enters. You do not have to force anything. You do not have to try to have revelations. Just let go, just drift, just be. If thoughts come, let them come. If images arise, let them arise. If you find yourself traveling among stars, let yourself travel. The mind knows how to do this. It has been doing it for as long as there have been minds. You do not need to direct the process. Trust your brain. It has been shaped by millions of years of evolution to handle the transition from waking to sleeping. It knows the pathways. It knows the rhythms. Your job is simply to allow, to not interfere, to get out of the way and let sleep happen. And it will happen. It always does sooner or later. The biological imperative is too strong to resist indefinitely. Sleep is not optional. It is not a luxury. It is a fundamental requirement for conscious beings, a period of maintenance and restoration without which minds cannot function. Even the most dedicated stargazer must eventually sleep. Even the most obsessed astronomer must close their eyes and let dreams take over. The stars will still be there in the morning. The questions will still be waiting. The cosmos will not have changed significantly in the hours you spent unconscious. But you will have changed. Your brain will have processed the day's experiences. Your memories will have been consolidated. Your energy will have been restored. You will wake ready to wonder again, ready to explore, ready to dream new dreams and ask new questions. That is the cycle of conscious existence. Activity and rest, waking and sleeping, engagement and withdrawal. Both parts of the cycle are necessary. Both serve important functions. Neither can be neglected without consequences. Tonight, honor the rest part of the cycle. Give your brain what it needs. Allow the maintenance functions to proceed without interruption. Tomorrow, you can be active again. Tomorrow, you can engage. Tomorrow, you can think and plan and wonder. But tonight, rest. The universe has given you this gift of sleep, a daily vacation from consciousness, a nightly reset that allows you to start fresh each morning. Accept the gift, use it well, and wake renewed. The stars are patient. They have been shining for billions of years. They can wait a few more hours while you sleep, and when you wake, they will be there. Perhaps not visible in the daylight, but present nonetheless, burning steadily, waiting for night to come again, waiting for you to look up again, to wonder again, to dream again. The cycle continues. The journey goes on. Rest now. The final thoughts before sleep are often the strangest. The mind, loosening its grip on rational thought, begins to make unusual connections. Stars become flowers. Galaxies become eyes. The void between worlds becomes a familiar room. Let the strangeness come. It is part of the process. The brain is sorting through the day's inputs, filing them away, integrating them with older memories. Sometimes this sorting produces unexpected combinations. Dreams that seem to make no sense, but somehow feel meaningful. Tomorrow, you may not remember these dreams. The connections they made may fade into forgetfulness, but they will have done their work. Your brain will be slightly different for having made them. Your understanding of the cosmos will have shifted in ways too subtle to detect. This is how learning happens, not always in conscious insight, but often in the quiet background processing of sleep. Trust the process, let it work, and wake refreshed. The stars are waiting. They have been waiting for 14 billion years. A few more hours will not matter to them, but to you, these hours of rest are precious. They prepare you for another day of life, another opportunity to wonder. Use them well, sleep well, and dream, if dreams come, of the vast and beautiful cosmos that surrounds you. Good night. The final surrender to sleep approaches, the moment when consciousness fully releases its hold and something else takes over. You have done well tonight. You have wondered. You have dreamed. You have contemplated distances that make everyday concerns seem small. That contemplation has value. It puts things in perspective. It reminds you that you are part of something vast and ancient and ongoing. Carry that perspective with you into sleep. Let it color your dreams. Let it shape the thoughts that will come in the hours ahead. And when you wake, carry it into the new day. Let the memory of tonight's journey inform your waking hours. You are a citizen of the cosmos, not just a resident of Earth, not just a member of your community, but a conscious being in a universe of inconceivable size and age. That is your identity. That is your heritage. That is your destiny. Sleep now, citizen of the cosmos. Rest your wandering mind, and wake ready to continue the great adventure of existence. The stars are waiting. The future is waiting. Everything is waiting. For you, good night. Sleep well. Dream of stars. There is a particular kind of peace that comes in the final moments before sleep. A letting go that feels like falling, but falling into something soft and welcoming. The bed beneath you becomes the cosmos holding you. The darkness around you becomes the void between stars, but friendly now, not frightening. This is the peace that all conscious beings seek. The rest from the endless work of being aware. The pause in the constant stream of sensation and thought. You have earned this peace. Simply by being conscious for another day, you have earned the right to rest. The universe does not demand that you solve all its mysteries before you sleep. Let the mysteries remain. Let the questions hang unanswered. They will still be there tomorrow, but tonight they can wait. In the grand scheme of things, what are a few hours? The universe has been mysterious for 14 billion years. It can remain mysterious for another 8 hours while you sleep. And yet, those 8 hours matter. They matter to you. They matter to your body and brain. They matter to the person you will be tomorrow. Rest is not wasted time. It is investment. It is the foundation upon which all your waking accomplishments are built. Without sleep, you could not wonder. Without rest, you could not dream. Without the daily surrender to unconsciousness, you could not be conscious at all. This is one of the paradoxes of awareness. To be conscious, you must regularly become unconscious. To think clearly, you must regularly stop thinking. To dream of stars, you must regularly close your eyes and let the stars disappear. The paradox resolves in practice. We cycle between states. We alternate between waking and sleeping. We live our lives in the rhythm of light and dark, activity and rest. This rhythm is ancient. It predates humans by billions of years. The first organisms that evolved daily cycles were responding to the same alternation of light and dark that governs your sleep patterns now. You are part of a biological tradition stretching back to the dawn of life on Earth. When you sleep, you are doing something that living things have done for as long as there has been a sun, to mark the days. That tradition connects you to everything that has ever lived. The first bacteria, the first plants, the first animals, your ancestors stretching back through time. All of them have participated in this same rhythm, and all of them, in their own way, have participated in the journey we discussed tonight, the journey through space. The motion of Earth around the sun, of the sun around the galaxy, of the galaxy through the universe. Every organism that has ever lived has been a space traveler. Every cell that has ever divided has done so while hurtling through the void at enormous speeds. You are not just a potential traveler. You are an actual traveler. You have been traveling since before you were born, and you will continue traveling until after you die. The atoms that make you will persist. They will continue their cosmic journey long after you have forgotten you were ever here. They will be incorporated into other structures, other beings, other consciousnesses. In some sense, you are immortal. Not as a person, but as matter. The stuff of which you are made will last as long as the universe lasts. That is a different kind of comfort than personal immortality. It is colder, perhaps, and less emotionally satisfying. But it is true, and truth has its own kind of warmth. Knowing what is real, even when what is real is vast and impersonal, connects us to existence in a way that fantasy cannot. Tonight you have contemplated real distances, real speeds, real physics, the universe as it actually is, not as we might wish it to be. That universe is stranger and more wonderful than any story we could invent. It contains more mysteries than any religion has proposed. It offers more wonders than any fantasy has imagined. And it is real. That is the most amazing thing of all. This vast, complex, beautiful cosmos is not a dream. It is actually there, actually existing, actually surrounding you right now as you drift towards sleep. You live in a miracle. Not a supernatural miracle, but a natural one. The miracle of existence itself. Why is there something rather than nothing? No one knows. How did consciousness arise from unconscious matter? No one knows. Why do the laws of physics take the form they do? No one knows. These are the deepest mysteries. They underlie all the smaller mysteries we discussed tonight. How far can humans travel? That depends on the laws of physics. But why do those laws allow travel at all? Why is there space to cross and time to experience? We may never know. These questions may be unanswerable, but they are worth asking even so, because asking is itself a form of participation. When you wonder why there is something rather than nothing, you are engaging with existence at its most fundamental level. You are being conscious about consciousness. You are existence wondering about itself. That wondering is not futile, even if it never produces answers. It is an end in itself. It is part of what makes conscious life valuable. A universe without anyone to wonder about it would still exist, but it would lack something important. It would lack appreciation. It would lack understanding. It would lack the deep, strange loop of matter contemplating matter. You provide that loop. Your wondering tonight has added to the universe something that was not there before. An instance of the cosmos appreciating itself. That is your gift to existence. Your contribution to the great project of being. It costs nothing to give and everything to withhold. So give it freely. Wonder without reservation. Ask questions you know you cannot answer. Dream of destinations you know you cannot reach. The wondering is its own reward. The dreaming is its own fulfillment. And when you sleep, the wondering does not stop. It continues in different forms. Dreams are a kind of wondering, a kind of exploration, a journey through inner space even as your body rests. Let those dreams come. Welcome them. See where they take you. Perhaps tonight you will dream of stars. Perhaps you will travel in sleep to destinations you could never reach while awake. Perhaps you will meet beings from other worlds. Perhaps you will see galaxies and nebulae up close. Perhaps you will float through the void and feel the silence of space. Or perhaps you will dream of ordinary things, home and family, work and play, the small details of daily life. Either way, the dreaming serves its purpose. It processes the day. It prepares you for tomorrow. It keeps your mind flexible and creative. Trust the process. Let sleep and dreams do their work. And when you wake, return to the waking world of stars and distances and possibilities. The journey we have taken tonight is just one night's worth. Tomorrow night, we could go somewhere else, explore different questions, consider different mysteries. The universe is inexhaustible. No matter how many nights we spend wondering, there will always be more to wonder about. That is both humbling and encouraging. Humbling because we can never know it all. Encouraging because we can never run out of things to explore. The adventure is infinite. The journey has no end, and you are part of it. A temporary but real participant in the ongoing process of consciousness confronting cosmos. Take pride in that participation. Take comfort in that belonging. And rest now in the peaceful certainty that when you wake, the adventure will continue. The stars are patient. The universe is eternal. The mysteries are waiting, but they can wait a few hours while you sleep. Good night, fellow traveler. May your journey through sleep be peaceful. May your dreams be deep and restorative. And may you wake ready to wonder once more at the vast, beautiful, mysterious cosmos that is your home. The last light fades. The final thoughts quiet. The transition begins. From waking to sleeping. From wondering to dreaming. From contemplating to resting. You have done well tonight. Now let go. The cosmos will hold you safe until morning. Sleep, dream, and know that you are loved by a universe so vast that your imagination cannot contain it. Good night. The molecules of the air in your room are in constant motion. They collide with each other billions of times per second, bouncing and rebounding in an endless dance of thermodynamics. You cannot sense this motion. It is too small and too fast for human perception. But it is there, an invisible sea of movement surrounding you as you drift toward sleep. This molecular chaos is what makes life possible. It provides the energy for chemical reactions. It distributes heat evenly. It allows gases to mix and diffuse. Without this constant motion, there would be no atmosphere, no breathing, no life. The universe is restless, even when we are at rest. It continues its endless activity regardless of what we do. This thought can be comforting. The cosmos does not need us to keep going. It will manage itself while we sleep. We can let go of control without the universe falling apart. So let go. Release the tension in your muscles. Release the worry in your mind. Release everything that is not essential to this moment. The moment is simple. You are lying in darkness, letting sleep come. That is all that matters right now. That is all you need to do. Tomorrow will bring its own concerns. Tomorrow will have its own tasks and troubles. But tomorrow is not here yet. Right now, there is only this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this slow drift toward unconsciousness. Be here, in this moment, fully. Not thinking about the past, not worrying about the future, just being. The cosmos is with you in this moment, as it is in every moment. It surrounds you and supports you and constitutes you. You are not separate from the universe. You are an expression of it, a particular arrangement of matter and energy that has temporarily become aware. That awareness is precious. It will not last forever. The arrangement that is you will eventually dissipate, and the atoms will move on to other configurations. But right now, in this moment, you are here. You are aware. You are wondering about stars. That is a gift. Not from anyone or anything in particular, just a gift from existence itself. The gift of being conscious in a cosmos that mostly is not. Receive the gift, appreciate it, and rest in the knowledge that having existed is meaningful, even if existence ends. You have contributed to the universe simply by being here. You have added your consciousness to the total. You have participated in the great experiment of awareness. Nothing can take that away. Even after you die, you will have existed. The fact of your existence will be forever true. In some sense, that is a kind of immortality. Not personal continuity, but permanent fact. The universe will always be a universe in which you once were. That permanent fact includes tonight. It includes this moment of wondering about stars, this drift towards sleep, this peace. These moments are being written into the history of the cosmos. They are becoming part of the permanent record. They matter even if no one ever knows they happened, so rest easy. What you are doing right now, simply being conscious and wondering and resting, is enough. It is more than enough. It is participation in the miracle of existence. The stars continue their ancient dance. Galaxies continue their slow rotations. The cosmic web of matter and dark matter continues to evolve. And you, small but significant, continue to drift towards sleep. Everything is as it should be. Everything is in its place. Rest now. The universe will continue without your oversight. It has been doing so for billions of years. It knows what it is doing, and you, for a few hours, can simply be, without responsibility, without striving, without anything at all except the peace of letting go. That peace is available to you right now. It does not require effort. It does not require achievement. It is simply what remains when you stop holding on. So stop holding on. Let go of the day. Let go of the week. Let go of all the concerns that usually occupy your mind. They will be there tomorrow. They are not going anywhere. But for now, for these precious hours, you can set them down. Imagine each worry as a stone in your hands. Heavy, solid, real. Now imagine setting each stone down, gently, carefully. One by one, the stones accumulate in a pile beside you. Your hands become lighter. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing deepens. The worries are still there, in the pile, but they are no longer in your hands. They are no longer your burden to carry right now. You can pick them up again tomorrow if you need to. But for tonight, let them rest while you rest. This is the wisdom of sleep. It teaches us that we cannot carry everything all the time. It forces us to set down our burdens periodically. Without sleep, we would burn out. Our minds would fragment. Our bodies would fail. With sleep, we renew. We restore. We prepare for another day. Honor that renewal. Give it the respect it deserves. Do not fight sleep or resent it. It is your ally, not your enemy. And within sleep, dreams may come. They are often strange. They rarely make logical sense, but they serve important functions. Dreams help consolidate memories. They process emotions. They allow the unconscious mind to work on problems the conscious mind has set aside. So welcome your dreams, whatever they may be. They are part of the journey, part of the wonder. And if you dream of stars tonight, know that you are continuing the exploration we began together, traveling in imagination to places your body cannot reach. The mind is its own spacecraft. It can go anywhere, instantly, without fuel or time or effort. It is the original warp drive. Use it. Let your dreams take you wherever they will. You might visit galaxies. You might meet beings from other worlds. You might solve mysteries that have puzzled you for years. Or you might simply rest dreamlessly, letting your brain do its maintenance work in peace. Either way, you will wake refreshed. You will be ready for another day of conscious existence, and the stars will still be there, waiting for your wondering gaze. The journey continues tomorrow. The adventure never ends. But for now, rest. The cosmos embraces you. The night holds you safe. Sleep well, traveler of infinite spaces. Dream well, wanderer of endless mysteries. And wake when morning comes, ready to explore once more. Good night. The very last moments of consciousness are approaching. That strange state where you are not quite awake but not yet asleep. Let yourself hover there for a moment. Feel the boundary between states. On one side, the waking world of logic and language. On the other, the dreaming world of images and feelings. Both are valuable. Both are necessary. Both are part of what it means to be human. You will cross from one to the other soon. The transition will be seamless. You may not even notice when it happens, but it will happen. The biological need for sleep is too strong to resist. So stop resisting. Stop trying to stay awake just a little longer. Let the transition take you. The stars will be there when you return. The cosmos will not have changed. The mysteries will still be waiting, but you will be changed. Rested, renewed, ready. That is the gift of sleep. That is the promise of tomorrow. Rest now. The night holds you. The cosmos loves you. Sleep, dream, and know that when you wake, the universe will still be there, vast and beautiful and full of wonders, waiting for you to explore. Good night, child of the stars. Good night, traveler of the cosmos. Good night. The breath deepens. The muscles relax. The mind releases. Sleep, dream, and in the morning, wonder again. The space between wakefulness and sleep is like the space between stars. Vast, empty, but somehow pregnant with possibility. You cross this space every night without noticing. It is so familiar that you forget how strange it is. Think about it. Every night, you lose consciousness. You stop being aware of yourself and your surroundings. For hours you are effectively gone from the world. Then, mysteriously, you return. Awareness reconstitutes itself. You remember who you are and where you are. The self that went to sleep emerges from the darkness of unconsciousness. This daily death and rebirth is so common that we take it for granted. But it is as mysterious as anything we discussed tonight. How does consciousness emerge? How does it subside? What happens in between? Science has some answers. We can measure brain waves. We can track neural activity. We can identify the stages of sleep and the functions they serve. But the subjective experience remains mysterious. What is it like to not exist for 8 hours every night? Obviously, it is not like anything. That is what makes it so strange. The universe had no consciousness for billions of years. Then consciousness emerged. And now, it blinks in and out, millions of times per day, as minds around the world cycle between waking and sleeping. This flickering of awareness is one of the most remarkable phenomena in the cosmos, and you participate in it every single day. Tonight, as you participate once more, know that you are doing something extraordinary, something that the universe did not know how to do for most of its existence, something that matter has only learned recently in cosmic terms. You are being conscious, and then you will stop being conscious, and then you will start again. This rhythm is older than humanity. It is as old as brains capable of sleep. It will continue as long as there are minds to experience it. You are part of an ancient tradition, a cosmic phenomenon, a mystery wrapped in the mundane routine of going to bed. Honor that mystery tonight. Let it fill you with wonder even as you drift towards sleep. The stars overhead do not sleep. They burn continuously for millions or billions of years. They do not know the rhythm of waking and sleeping that governs your days. In some ways, that makes them simpler than you, less complex, less rich in experience. You know what it is to be tired and to rest. You know what it is to dream and to wake. You know the texture of consciousness with all its variations and modulations. The stars know none of this. They simply burn. They simply exist. You are something the stars cannot be, a temporary arrangement of matter that experiences time as more than just duration. That divides existence into day and night, waking and sleeping, wandering and resting. That division is a gift. It gives life texture and rhythm. It creates the pattern that makes experience meaningful. So rest now, knowing that rest itself is a form of richness, a dimension of experience that unconscious matter cannot access. Tomorrow you will wake and the richness will continue. New thoughts, new feelings, new moments of wonder. But that is tomorrow. Tonight is for the other kind of richness. The richness of letting go. The richness of not thinking. The richness of simply being a body at rest in the darkness. Let that richness enfold you. Let it carry you down into sleep. The cosmos continues its vast, patient work. Stars are being born right now. Galaxies are colliding. Planets are forming around distant suns. You do not need to witness any of it. You do not need to understand it all tonight. You can simply rest while the universe does what it does. And in the morning, you can look up at the sky and remember that all of it was happening while you slept. That the cosmos never stops, even when your consciousness does. That continuity is comforting. The universe does not depend on you. It will be fine while you rest. So rest. Rest deeply. Rest completely. The stars will still be there tomorrow. The questions will still be waiting. The journey will continue. But tonight, let there be peace. Let there be stillness. Let there be the gentle surrender of a mind releasing into sleep. Good night. The cosmos holds you. You are home. Sleep. And as you sleep, know this. The same forces that hold the stars together hold you together. The same gravity that bends light around black holes gently anchors you to your bed. The same electromagnetic force that powers the sun powers the neurons in your brain. You are made of the same stuff as everything else. You obey the same laws. You are part of the same cosmos. This connection is not broken by sleep. It does not fade when you lose consciousness. It persists, constant and unbreakable, linking you to every star and every galaxy and every grain of dust in the universe. When you dream of traveling to the stars, you are dreaming of visiting your relatives. The atoms in your body are siblings of the atoms in distant suns. You are already connected to everything you might ever want to explore. That connection is your birthright. It cannot be taken from you. It will persist as long as the universe persists. Rest in that connection tonight. Feel yourself as part of something vast and ancient and eternal. Let the cosmos flow through you as you flow through the cosmos. The boundaries you normally feel between yourself and the world are useful fictions. In deep sleep, they dissolve. You become simply matter, simply energy, simply existence. Let that dissolution happen. Do not fight it. Do not cling to the separate self that usually defines you. For a few hours you can simply be. Not you as a person with a name and a history, just awareness at rest. Just the universe experiencing peace. Tomorrow you will reassemble. The self will reconstitute. The boundaries will return. But tonight, let them go. Let yourself merge with the darkness. Let yourself become one with the quiet. The stars continue their ancient journey. You continue yours. Both journeys are sacred. Rest now. The morning will come. The wonder will return.